We gallivant in the hinterlands doing random tasks, and some cause you to find PowerPoints. The quest description says, word of the Inquisition's work in the hinterlands has spread. The Chantry clerics in Val Royeo are ready to meet. Now, does that mean they're going to meet the Inquisition in Val Royeo? It must, since we've gathered some sort of presence or influence in the hinterland region, and I guess they care about that enough to meet us. However, when we finally go to the war table, the description I'm assuming is the same old one which was here before we completed those tasks, that the Inquisition is heretical, we couldn't gather allies, and we could never step foot in the capital without being attacked or arrested. So, words of our deeds from the hinterland somehow made it to Val Royeo. I don't understand that, but okay, fine. Somehow rumors from a province away by maybe a few farmers or random people that observed us closing rifts, hunting and killing 10 rams for food, riding a horse, filling out requisition orders by tapping rocky outcroppings and finding an abandoned pile of lumber, somehow generates a mysterious rumor mill which makes its way to Val Royeo, then convinces the clergy there that I'm not some monster sent to kill everyone, and now they're okay with meeting us. So we're all set to go, but Cullen and Liliana don't like the idea, even though it was Mother Giselle's suggestion to go talk to them.
I will go with him. Mother Giselle said she could provide us names. Use them.
But why? This is nothing but a...
What choice do we have, Liliana? Right now we can't approach anyone for help with the breach.
At this point, aside from Mother Giselle's suggestion to talk to the Grand Clerics, we haven't actually used her list of names yet, and nor has she done anything for us, nor have we asked her to. Liliana doesn't even care for the list, despite her being our spy master. Yay, team. Is Mother Giselle even a MacGuffin at this point? How many plot coupons do we need just to get into Val Royeo, just to talk to the potentially friendly Grand Clerics from the Chantry, just so we can possibly talk to the mages or Templars, so they may help in sealing the rift? The plot is stretched so very thin here, and it's barely holding together.
Use what influence we have to call the clerics together. Once they are ready, we will see this through.
Okay, so we haven't actually done anything yet, and only after this cutscene do we assume that all these tasks of communicating to the clerics and getting an audience with them at Val Royeo would thus have taken place in some inordinate passage of time. These kinds of events, the implied scenarios, are what you do not do in this sort of story. It's like there's a whole other sequence of story here that we're not seeing, and it's not implied these things are just going to happen without a problem. We then follow the magical green glowing mini rift on the war table, even though there's no actual rift there at the location. And why we're using magical table markers incorrectly, I don't know, but at least it's a good visual cue of what the main plot point would be. I suppose the Herald knows how to create mini tears on a table indefinitely? Who knows? Personally, I thought the cool wooden or metal icons or symbolic miniatures would be pretty neat, but hey, magical green mini floating objects that impractically weird-looking serrated daggers. I mean, who made this knife? Is it real? What does it symbolize? Is the diplomacy going to be rough?
Just a guess, Seeker, but I think they all know who we are.
Your skills of observation never fail to impress me, Varric.
Okay, how do these people know this? Sure, rumors have spread of the Inquisition, but what kind? And how are they of our appearance? The only thing that could possibly connect us would be Cassandra, as I'm sure she's a popular enough face to warrant the recognition, as she also declared the Inquisition.
My Lord Herald.
You're one of Liliana's people. What have you found?
Oh, were we supposed to be meeting this person? Spy character that supposedly belongs to Liliana? Okay, well, thanks for the heads up, absolutely no one. Pretty glad that Cassandra came along on a whim just so she could identify this unknown person.
The Chantry mothers await you, but so do a great many Templars.
There are Templars here?
People seem to think the Templars will protect them from the Inquisition.
Okay, so the Chantry is still frightened of us, and we also get to talk to the Templars. That sounds fine.
You wonder what will become of a murderer. Well, wonder no more. Behold, the so-called Herald of Andraste, claiming to rise where our beloved fell. We say this is a false prophet. The Maker would send no mage in our hour of need.
So these three people are amenable to a gathering. Well, okay, thanks, Mother Giselle. I guess this is better than nothing. Whoa, thank you, random violent guy. You just removed all the tension out of that scene. Are we going to do anything here or resolve anything by ourselves? Why are we the main character again? Do we get to do anything here? This scene has good and bad points, but the main two qualities I see are shock and confusion. It's good because it increases the tension by creating a greater conflict, that is, the violence. It also cuts out the middleman, that is, the Chantry, by having us speak directly to the Templars, which is one of our goals. It's also potentially good because we can play the innocent bystander here and even befriend the hurt cleric if such an option were available, but at least the potential for it is there. It's bad because it just deflated the previous scene with the Grand Cleric character who was accusing us of being a herald. It would have been interesting if our choices could influence others on how they see us and how we can solve our problem, but that's no longer an option. If that's not an option, or rather if we do get to talk to her and that conversation doesn't influence the main plot, then the story here is completely wasting our time. And we've collected another plot ticket which unfortunately has no conflicting moral, ethical, psychological, or world value. We were being accused of murder and then a wild man appeared and punched someone. But this scene is just mostly confusing because we're not sure how to act. What is going on here? Who are these people? Without the context or knowing what our stakes are here, it's just two strangers in a street talking, and then another stranger comes by and hits the other, and then the one who fell was accusing us of heresy and murder. When we're the Inquisition, what is going on, and who are we supposed to be talking to now, and why?
Was that display supposed to impress me?
On the contrary, it wasn't for you at all.
Alright, so you were obviously lying about protecting the Chantry from us and everyone else all this time, or someone was lied to about such behavior, and instead you waited to punch the leader of this band of 3 Chantry Grand Clerics apparently in public to do what exactly?
Creating a heretical movement. Raising up a puppet as Andraste's prophet. You should be ashamed.
Well, technically it's not, but if no one was aware of Justinia's writ, then it would be seen as that. But since we're not affiliated with the Chantry and they disapprove of us, then yeah, we pretty much are the heretics. Didn't we come here to fix that, though?
The Templars failed no one when they left the Chantry to purge the mages.
Okay, so leaving the Chantry isn't failing them. Isn't that like leaving the military to go fight said military's opponents? Is he talking about not attending the gathering or currently fighting the rebel mages? I'm missing some context here.
You are the ones who have failed. You who'd leash our righteous swords with doubt and fear.
Okay, so how did I fail, and how would I ever influence the Templars like that? I just need help to close the breach. I don't know how you guys can do that, but Cullen said you're one option, so...
If you came to appeal to the Chantry, you are too late.
Okay, but you're not the Chantry, you're a Seeker, and you seem to be in charge of the Templars. And you just beat up a Grand Cleric, so you just gave me the opportunity to not only appeal to them, but to play their hero. Of course, that's not a main plot option.
The only destiny here that demands respect is mine.
The only destiny here that demands respect is mine. Okay, so to respect you, do we beat you up? Do you want us to fight you? What are you talking about?
If you're not here to help the Chantry, then you just came to make speeches.
I came to see what frightens old women so, and to laugh.
And to punch said old women in the back of the head. I guess you're the one that frightens old women now? What are you doing here?
But Lord Seeker, what if he really was sent by the Maker? What if...
You are called to a higher purpose. Do not question.
The Templar guy was just skeptical of what the Herald was. What does that have to do with being called to a higher purpose? Who's calling him? Why should that being called interfere with a question about something completely unrelated? What is going... Who are these... Who writes this stuff? Is it just me? Because I'm totally lost. But is anything anyone's saying here making or following any sense?
I will make the Templar Order a power that stands alone against the Void. We deserve recognition. Independence. You have shown me nothing. And the Inquisition, less than nothing.
Alright, so he wants power to stop the Void, and he has to act like a big bully. Okay, I think I got this. That's why he's punching old women and being crazy, I think.
Templars, Val Royeo is unworthy of our protection.
Okay, then whose respect do you want here? If your job is to protect the Chantry or the people from the Void, you don't do that by punching a Grand Cleric out, unless you want people to see you as a bully or some sort of despot. So, wanting people to fear you, is that your idea of respect?
We march.
Okay, are you going to fight the Void? Well, good luck with that. Well, this was a waste of our time.
Charming fellow, isn't he?
Has Lord Seeker Lucius gone mad?
Do you know him very well?
He took over the Seekers of Truth 2 years ago, after Lord Seeker Lambert's death. He was always a decent man, never given to ambition and grandstanding. This is very bizarre.
Okay, so the audience has very little idea what's going on. The companions have no idea. So the Chantry's out, the Templars are out. I guess the only option we have left is the mages? Okay, so we're about to leave Val Royeo.
If I might have a moment of your time.
And speak of the devil, isn't that bloody convenient?
Grand Enchanter Fiona?
I'm surprised the leader of the mages wasn't at the conclave.
Yes. You were supposed to be, and yet somehow you avoided death.
Finally, something interesting here. Okay, this makes things a bit more complex. Thank goodness something is happening. I'm beginning to think that lots of people either wanted Justinia dead, or she just didn't have the kind of pull she thought she had. We can see this from the ambitions of the Grand Clerics, their hostility towards you, the craziness of Lord Seeker Lucius, and the fact that he and Fiona here didn't attend the gathering and are still alive.
You heard him. You think he wouldn't happily kill the Divine to turn people against us?
Or it's possible he's just a violent lunatic.
Does that mean the mages will help us?
We are willing to discuss it with the Inquisition at least. Consider this an invitation to Redcliffe. Come, meet with the mages. An alliance could help us both, after all. I hope to see you there. Au revoir, my Lord Herald.
Did she just say goodbye in French? Aren't we going to be faking the French accent thing here, or are we just blatantly showing that our legions are in fact French? Why aren't they all talking French then? Are they just really nice about talking in English everywhere with a ridiculous accent? Okay, so the Chantry's out, the Templars are out, mages are potentially in. Well, so much for player choice here. So we get back to Haven to tell people what happened.
We heard of your encounter.
You heard?
My agents in the city sent word ahead, of course.
And how did they tell you how everything happened? Did our spies, write a giant story for several ravens to carry? Why didn't they tell they were doing that? I mean, why didn't Liliana tell us we had these resources? How many of these spies were there? Because we could have dealt with the crazy Lord Seeker and his posse. Did these spies ride on the fastest horses to get here? How many of these horses do we have? How did the message get here? I'm genuinely curious. This could explain how the Inquisition influences entire cities by hammering out iron ore in the wilderness somewhere. Because we have an army of spies just communicating at the speed of plot.
At least we know the Chantry is no longer a threat to us.
Yes, and we have the opening we need to approach the Templars and the mages.
But the Chantry was never a threat to us, as Cullen previously stated. They don't have any power. Unless Josephine is referring to the Chantry vis-a-vis the Templars, well, we just know the Templars following Lord Seeker Lucius are following him. And it seems we also have the option of going after the Templars again, this time confronting Lucius again, Why we didn't press him before, we don't know, even though he was unimpressed with us, despite us not having fought him physically or verbally. It seems we can go directly talk to him and hopefully actually do something this time.
You think the Mage Rebellion is more united? It could be 10 times worse.
Okay, so I'm guessing Cullen couldn't hear or didn't hear the report where we had a conversation with the head of the Mage Rebellion, where she politely spoke to us and wanted to meet us at Redcliffe. Wait, what does the option say you must choose soon? Who's you? Should it say I must choose soon? Who's the decider here? And then we say that in the first person, or are we not in control of things? Are we talking to Cullen? Is he making the choice? Once again, we don't have enough influence or power points, not to be confused with actual influence points, just to be able to go talk to people in other parts of the world. It's like they're literal plot coupons we spend on the magic table of plot points, minus all the drama, suspense, conflict, character development, logic, and all the other meaningful things to be found in a functional working story.
In the meantime, we should consider other options.
How about we consider the plot? Ever thought about that? Nope, you don't get to do that, player. You have to go back and, kill random spawns and close mini-fade rifts and go pick some herbs.
There is one other matter. Several months ago, the Grey Wardens of Ferelden vanished. I sent word to those in Orlais, but they have also disappeared. Ordinarily, I wouldn't even consider the idea they're involved in all this, but the timing is curious.
Unless they have something to do with closing the rifts, who cares? No one don't go changing the plot now or creating new threads if it's not dealing with the protagonist's desire to close the rift.
So you're telling me this because...
The others have disregarded my suspicion.
And here's where we see the plot is being hampered down by the weird gameplay mechanic of gaining power points by doing random things. This is not how you tell an epic of this style. You have to connect it. It has to be organic. It has to flow naturally from one point to the next, not do this and then someone will influence you so you can go talk to Bob because reasons.